Hi everyone, welcome back to Retold. I'm Legendary, and today we're going to ask ourselves the big question: what does it mean to be yourself? With Peer Gynt. Now, our story starts in 17th or 18th century Norway. It's really unclear. It's it's Norway around the time they had guns, but magic was still a thing. So that general area. Anyway, so we meet Peer Gynt, the son of the once highly regarded John Gynt, before John took off and leaving his wife and child in debt. John is not the hero of our story, but his influence will play a very important part. So Peer comes home, he's beat up, his clothes are all ripped up, he's soaking wet for some reason, and his mom's like, "What in the world happened to you?" And Pierre goes, "Ma, you're not gonna believe this, but what happened was I was hunting, and then I found a deer. It was this gigantic buck, and then I shot it, and then I got on top of it to stab it with my knife, and it wakes up and looks at me, and I look at it, and it takes off running, and I can't get free because my leg is stuck to the deer's antler, so I'm just being hurled along with the deer, and then this bird flies in front of the deer, causing the deer to jump off a cliff, and it smashes into the water with me on it. The impact knocks me loose. I swim home. The I have no idea what happened to the deer. Its body's probably still on the beach somewhere, but I swim home, and I'm here now." And she's like, "Did that really happen, or is this another lie?" And he's like, "Ma, I am wounded that you would even think I would lie to you." She's like, "Pierre, you don't have to do these things. You don't have to lie all the time. Just be yourself." He's like, "What does that even mean? What do you mean, be myself?" It's like, remember back when you were a child and your father, hey, we don't mention that name around here. When when your father was so happy for you, and he gave you a silver button because you said you wanted to be a button molder when you grow up, and Pierre was like, "Yeah, those were the stupid dreams of a stupid child." "Then why do you still have the button, Pierre? Why do you still have the silver button?" And Pierre goes, ah, "Hey, so what's everybody getting dressed for?" His mom sees he's changing the subject, but she goes along with it and goes, "Oh, well, is getting married." You're like, "Ingrid? My Ingrid?" "Yeah, you remember Ingrid, the girl you were in love with, but you kept pulling hooky, and then she broke up with you, and now she's marrying someone else." Yeah, I know how I messed up the relationship, Mom. I was there." Pierre is like, decides he's going to go to the wedding, and he does. And while he's at the wedding, everyone is bullying Pierre. And Pierre's roasting them back, like, especially this one dude, Aslak. And he's like, "Aslak, I know you're not trying to talk about me. Didn't the last time we did this, I ended up knocking you out in front of everyone in the bar?" And Aslak, like, "Yeah, but at least I got married." And that shuts Pierre up, and he kind of wanders off. And then he's struck as he sees the most beautiful woman he's ever laid eyes on. A newcomer to the valley, who goes by the name of Solveig. Goes, I, what is my name?" Right. It's Pierre. Pierre, that's it. "I'm Pierre." "Hi, Pierre. I'm Solvig. Would you like to dance?" I would love to, but my father wouldn't approve." "Your father wouldn't approve of me? Why?" "Well, he says you're a liar, a thief, a prankster, and voted most likely to be the groom in a shotgun wedding 4 years running." Yeah, 5 actually, but who's counting? I mean, oh, you're walking away. Okay, I'll see you later. Pierre realizes he just missed his chance to get with the girl of his dreams, and he does what any man does in that situation. He goes and gets properly wasted. Now, Pierre is getting drunk, and then while in his drunken stupor, he hears somebody goes, "Oh no! Ingrid has locked herself in her room, and she will not come out. She says she can't go through the wedding." And Pierre goes, "Well, this looks like a job for drunk Pierre. I'm gonna go talk to her." So he goes, he talks to her, and he's like, "You know what you need, Ingrid? You need to just have one last good romp in the forest with me. Just one last good time. Then you can have all your wild oats all seeded, and then we can go off our separate ways, and you can get married and all this good stuff. What do you say?" And Ingrid goes, "That sounds like a great plan. Let's do it." So they run off into the forest together, and they spend the night in the forest together. And then the next morning, everyone shows back up. They find the bride, and Ingrid's like, It's Pierre's idea. He kidnapped me. Pierre's like, okay, I have a mean hangover. I'm pretty sure it was consensual. Doesn't matter, Pierre. You're banished. But I didn't. You know what? That's fine. That's fair. So Pierre goes and he wanders off into the mountains, and Solveig weeps for him, and her father's like, "What are you crying for?" And she's like, "I think I love him." He's like, "Why? For what possible reason?" "I don't know, but I sense a deep sadness in his heart, and I want to help heal that sadness." Ugh, fine. Look, I'm gonna go help his mother look for the little runt. So they do. Meanwhile, Pierre is getting completely smashed in the mountains with three dairy maids who are waiting to be courted by trolls. Look, that's a whole thing. I don't have time to explain the cultural significance of this whole interaction. We're moving on. So he goes, he gets drunk. He wakes up the next morning just completely alone. The dairy maids are gone. And he is suffering from the worst headache in the world. He runs off, smashes headfirst into a rock, passes out, and now for the next little while, it's not clear how much of this is actually happening and how much of this is a concussion-induced hallucination. But Pierre wakes up. He comes across a woman in green. She goes, "I am the great daughter of the Troll Mountain King. Come with me, Pierre. We will ride to the Hall of the Mountain King." Which they do, and that brings us to quite possibly one of the best musical numbers of all time. One of the most famous bits of composing ever, in the Hall of the Mountain King. Let's listen to it for a little while, shall we? That's just the opening. I'd play the whole song for you, but we gotta get this story finished. So anyway, so Pierre and the green lady show up. They're surrounded by trolls, and the troll goes, "I like this human. He has the face of a human, but the soul of a troll. Pierre, how would you like to marry my daughter?" And Pierre's like, "I just got here, but okay, what do I have to do?" And the troll king goes, "It's quite simple. You must only do three things to become a troll. You must, one, swear off sunlight. Uh, huh. No promises, but what's two? Two, you must wear a tail. Yeah, I can wear a tail. And three, you must accept to live the life of a troll." "Okay, yeah, you said that. What does that mean?" "It means you must be utterly thyself." "Oh my god, what is with these people? I'm saying be thyself. What does that mean?" "Well, for us trolls, being utterly thyself means be only yourself, to do what you want, and to hell with anyone who says different." Huh. I think I can dig that. Wait, what does that thing about sunlight? Yeah, don't worry. You trolls just can't handle sunlight. I guess I can reject sunlight if it means marrying a beautiful woman and doing whatever I want whenever I want. Oh, also, once this change is permanent, you cannot be human again. Wait, whoa. Back up. You should have started your sales pitch with that. "I'm done, I'm out, goodbye, later days. Peace." Wait, you can't leave. My daughter's pregnant with your child." "What? How? I haven't touched her yet. We literally just took a horse ride here. I haven't done anything." "It's magic. Because you lusted after her in your heart, the child was already created." "That is some magical bull. I'm done here. Goodbye. Good day to you, sir. Later days." So Peter runs off, and the trolls begin to chase him. He narrowly escapes by ducking into a dark and mysterious tunnel under the mountain that even the trolls fear to go in. And Pierre's like, huh, they're running away screaming from this hole. That's probably not a good thing, but I'm going to count my bless. Oh, shoot. And there, in the distance, is the most fearsome creature of all time, the Boig. It is a creature of ever-shifting mass, of ever-changing form. And Pierre goes, What are you? I am the Boig. Okay, what's a Boig? It is I. See, we're having a very circular conversation, and if I wasn't so terrified, I'd be very annoyed. Oh, Pierre, don't you understand? I am the Boig. The Boig is me. There's nothing like me. Therefore, I am utterly myself. Okay, again, I am terrified, but I want to yell at you a little. What do you mean by be yourself? Don't you understand, Pierre? Because I defy all explanation and all classification. There's nothing like me. Therefore, only I am me. And that is the true meaning of being utterly thyself. And Pierre thinks about this, and he's like, huh, that makes sense. I could live with this. I like you, Boig. I like you too, Pierre. How's I'm gonna eat you? Okay. We doing this? We doing this right now. And Pierre pulls out a sword and goes, let's do it. You're gonna fall by my hand. Sure, King Solomon killed 100, but I, Pierre Gynt, will slay 1,000. Yeah, Pierre, I don't want to tell you this, but magical, shape-shifting cosmic horror, farm boy who spent his entire life fighting goats and wolves. Pierre is getting wrecked. And all the while the boy is lecturing him about how life is so much simpler doing the boy's way of thing. And it tells him, it's simple, Pierre. If you want to avoid hardships and trouble and responsibility in your life, just go around. Always go around about. And it's choking the life of him, about to eat him, when in the distance, his mother, Ase, and Solvig ring church bells for him. And the Boig, which is a creature of evil, cannot stand the sound of church bells, so it poofs away. And Pierre runs, he passes out again, and he awakes, and he's back in the mountains where he hit his head. So, how much of that story actually happened, and how much of it was Pierre's concussion, we'll never know. But Pierre decides to build a cabin there, and as he does, in the village, his mom pays Ingrid's father a bridal tax for Pierre's kidnapping of Ingrid, even though technically it wasn't kidnapping since she went with him willingly, but we're not going to argue this. Solvig decides she will go to Pierre. She leaves her beloved family, searches for him, finds him in his mountain hut, and they live together as husband and wife. And here we see a bit of the good part of Pierre, as he really does love Solvig, and they're very happy together, and he even unburdens on her some of his worries. He explains, while holding the silver button, I hate my dad. I hate him for abandoning us. I hate him for leaving us in poverty. But most of all, I hate myself, because I'm just like him. I'm out there searching for who I would want to be, but I don't know how to be me. And Solvig's like, Pierre, you don't have to be anyone else but you. You're Pierre Gynt, not John Gynt. All you have to do is be yourself. And he looks at her weeping and goes, but how do I do that? I've had so much conflicting information. So many people telling me different meanings of what it means to be yourself. Who is Pierre Gynt? How do I be him? And just then, as they're having this big, epic, touching moment, there's a knock on the door. Pierre opens it, and there's this old, ugly woman who turns out to be the troll princess and a half-troll son. And Pierre's like, wait, that wasn't a concussion? It's magic. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Nope. Hey, and Pierre goes, wow, if I could have a troll child, then I'm unworthy of Solvig's love. The best and most responsible thing to do, it would be to stay here and try to be a better person. And then in the back of his mind, he hears the Boig's voice, and it tells him, go round about, flee. And Pierre's like, or I could go around and just avoid this trouble. All right, thanks, mysterious voice in my head. I'm going to do that. And he dips and he leaves Solveig there in the cabin. Solveig's sister eventually searches for him and she finds him. And Pierre's like, listen, I don't want to lie to you, but I can't go back. I can't become the man worthy of Solveig if I stay there. Also, I am a terrible human being. But here, and he gives Solveig's sister Helga the silver button from his father to give to Solveig, and he says, "Keep this. This is a memento of me. I will return for it someday." And then he bounces. And yeah, while he's bouncing, he eventually ends up all the way in Morocco in North Africa, and he admits, I have been following the troll's advice and the boy's advice. I've become utterly myself. I have done whatever I wanted and benefited only myself in all these trades. We find out that he's been selling heathen images to China and trading slaves. He goes, hey, I also sent missionaries to China and I'm treating the slaves well, but dude, no. You're selling corrupt goods and people to other people. That's pretty messed up. His companions apparently agree with my assessment because they rob him and leave him blind. Rob him blind. You know the expression. And they're like, wow, we cannot believe we spent so many years with this guy. Then he gets some Bedouin gear, finds a group of Bedouins, and they hail him as a prophet, and then he falls in love with Anitra, the chieftain's daughter and an exotic dancer, and she kinda pretends to be interested in him, and then she robs him blind, steals his new money, his rings, and his horse, and leaves him there. So he travels to Egypt to become a historian, wanders through the desert, passes the Colossi of Memnon and the Sphinx. He has a freaking PTSD attack when he sees the Sphinx because he thinks it's the boy. He goes, oh god, no, not you again. What do you want from me? Oh, wait, you're not the boy. Okay. Alright. He eventually gets to Cairo. He encounters the keeper of the local madhouse, and the keeper of the local madhouse goes, you, Pierre Gynt, you are the bringer of supreme wisdom. Come in. You are the wisest of all. Oh god. Pierre realizes, I'm not going to get out of this place. He realizes as he's in this madhouse that all the patients here, all the inmates of the madhouse embody the troll and the boy's lifestyle because they are utterly themselves. They live in their own worlds, being themselves to such a degree that no one can and will care for anyone else. And Pierre realizes he had once dreamed of being an empire and of being an emperor, and here, this is his empire. He's the emperor of the self. He cries out to God, like, God, you are the keeper of all fools. Please save me now. And God does, eventually. 18 years later, where Pierre finally escapes the madhouse after 18 long years, gets shipwrecked, meets a guy called the Strange Passenger, and the Strange Passenger like, yeah, I'm going to use your corpse to find out what dreams are made of. Pierre's like, interesting theory. Here's another one. Beats the guy over the head with a board and then drowns him in the ocean. But unfortunately, all this shipwreck and fighting to the death leaves Pierre without any possessions, pitiful and grumpy old man. He finally gets back home to Norway, and he attends the funeral of a man who he once knew, a young man. And this guy has a pretty interesting story, but the pastor calls him a fool. This man cut off his own finger to avoid being conscripted into the army, lived on a secluded mountain farm, rebuilding it twice because of flood and because of the glacier, sent his children to America, and died once more trying to figure out the life and freedom of a farmer. The priest goes, he strove and fell in the farmer's small struggle, completely unaware of the bigger picture. And Pierre's like, man, I get that, but this guy, he's done so much more than me. He had a much more meaningful life than I have. What have I done with myself? No, no, Pierre, don't think about it like that. Be yourself. Be utterly thyself. Remember what the troll said. Remember what the troll said. Side note to my listeners, never take the advice of trolls. You see how Pierre messed up taking the advice of trolls? See how empty his life is because he took the troll's advice? Yeah, don't do this to yourselves. Here, at this graveyard, we get to the climax of the story, where we meet the three important characters. We once again are reintroduced to the Troll King, but we also meet a mysterious man called the Button Molder. And the Button Molder goes, Peer Gynt, it's been a long time. And Pierre's like, do I know you? And the Button Molder goes, yes, you know me. I was there when you were first fashioned. You were supposed to be a great shining button on the coat of the world, brightly lit for all to see. But you become bent and broken. And now, like all the bent and broken buttons on the coat of history, I must decide whether to try to fix you or whether to throw you in the recycling. And Pierre's like, what's the recycling? And that's when our third character shows up. The Lean One, also known as the Devil. But the Lean One goes, well, Pierre, here's the problem. You're a liar and a cheat, but you're not really a great grave sinner. You haven't done anything to completely damn you from hell. You haven't done anything with actual malice in your heart against other people. In fact, I don't think you've ever thought of anyone else besides yourself at all. You're empty, child. I don't think you have a soul. And I can't take what you don't have. And Pierre freaks out, and he runs, and here we go, and we once again meet the Troll Mountain King. And he goes, Pierre, you know why these two gentlemen don't want to take you? And they worry about your soul? And he looks Pierre in the eye and goes, that's because, despite not wearing a tail, you've been a troll instead of a man for most of your life. And Pierre goes, you're right. I'm not a man. I'm a troll. I'm not even that. I'm nothing. Who is Pierre? Nothing and no one. Mourned for by nobody. Loved by no one. And then, as he despairs, he hears a song. Solveig starts to sing. The cabin Pierre built is close. He wants to enter, but the boy in his head tells him, go around, avoid it. The Button Molder shows up and demands a list of sins, but Pierre's like, I don't know my sins. I'll ask Solveig. She's the only one who can know me. He opens the door, he finds Solveig, and goes, please forgive me for how I've sinned against you. And she goes, you haven't sinned against me, my sweet child. My sweet love. You've been here with me. He goes, what do you mean? I'm lost. Where has Peer Gynt been since we last met? Where was I as the one I should have been, whole and true, a shining light upon the world? Where was the silver button? And she goes, it's been here, in my faith, in my hope, in my love. And she holds out Pierre's silver button. He screams out and weeps into Solveig's lap. She sings a lullaby for him, and we fade away. And then we see once again the Button Molder, the angel of death. And he goes, oh, Pierre, we shall meet at the last crossroads, and then we shall see. We shall see. I'll say no more. And that's the story of Peer Gynt. And as he finally understood what it means to be yourself. To be truly yourself is to be your best person, as Solveig and as the Button Molder explained, is to be the best part of yourself, to rise above your base instincts. So, if you like this story and want to hear more, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget, I have a book out, The 21st Century Guide to Mythology, Greek Myths Return. Links in the description. Later days.